it is actually your own duty and your first assignment to identify what success truly means to your line manager. So, yeah, after spending 2 decades in the corporate space, I believe that I'm equipped and experienced enough to share some of my precious gem that I've put together over the years. And on this platform, Sparks and Blues, we'll be sharing some of our precious gem, you know, for different of our posts. And today, I'll be talking about those precious gems that can help you succeed on your role. So the first one I have for you today is that it is actually your own duty and your first assignment to identify what success truly means to your line manager when you assume a new role. It is important that you understand what they see as success to enable you achieve your own success on the role. And for example, if what success truly means to your line manager is churning out work of quality output, it means you need to gravitate towards doing that. However, if you're unable to deliver work of quality output most of the time, it means you're in the wrong department, team, or space. So you need to have a change. If peradventure what success truly means to your line manager involves office politics, and if office politics does not align with your own vision, your dreams, your interests, it means you are also in the wrong space and you need to plan your exit. So in identifying what success truly means to your manager, it's a two-in-one. You are also able to know if you are at the right space, if you are on the right career path, on the right job. And if you are not, you are able to begin to plan and plot your exit. So that's the first one we have for you today. The second one I have for you today is Godfatherism. You need to understand, what Godfatherism means, what it can do to you, and the negative aspects of it, and take a decision if you are ready for that. I, as an individual, over 2 decades, I've never benefited from Godfatherism. I've never practiced it. I've never believed in it. I'm not a believer of it. And to the glory of God, I was able to grow my career to the apex level of my industry today. So I can confidently tell you that Godfatherism is not what you need. I know that in a lot of other platforms they preach it. They even train people how to run, the race. But then, like I said, because this platform is a realistic platform, I'll be pointing you to some of the things that are happening actively today in our reality that we are confronted with. So you take a good look at what happened to Governor Ambode. Take a good look at what is going on with Fubara today. Those are typical examples of Godfatherism, because what Godfatherism does to you is that it takes you by speed of light to the top, and then you are at the seat suddenly. What then happens after that? Are you ready and available and happy to continue to remain at the mercy of these godfathers? Because what then happens is, when you arrive at that table, you feel fulfilled, you feel you have now become, you are now what you think you are. However, you remain under their shackles, under their control. Nobody wants to live like that. So you need to understand that if you truly want to play the Godfatherism role on your job, you need to be aware of the impact and what is going to become of you at the end of the day when you arrive at the table. Like I said, personally, I don't encourage it. I don't preach it. I will never advise anyone to get themselves involved with Godfatherism or office politics. Having spent over 20 years working today, I can confidently tell you that it takes you nowhere. It only takes you through an electronic elevator, and then you arrive faster than the person going through the stairs. However, if you are going to watch at the end of the day in the reality sphere, you will see that the people that took their time, passed through the pain of climbing up through the stairs, would have a more fulfilling career and would eventually become more successful than those people that were dependent solely on Godfatherism to climb. Another negative part of, walking through yourself up through godfatherism and office politics is that if you peradventure find yourself out of a space where you have no godfather, you will find out that such people are able to cope and they are able to deliver. That is what is responsible for what you term as midlife career crisis, where you see a lot of people that are senior managers, they change jobs and then they get fired and they become, out of job for a long time and they are unable to get back their career. That is exactly what is responsible for it. If you check the history of such people, they got to those positions through godfatherism and office politics. So today I'm putting it to you and letting you know that it is sincerely and severely discouraged. We don't encourage it on this platform, and of course I'm talking to you from experience. I've never benefited or gotten myself involved with such things, and to the glory of God, I was still able to achieve, a successful career. So that's the second one. The third one I have for you is that you need to ensure that you bring your authentic self to the table, your authentic self to the workplace part-time. It's important that you allow your employers, your colleagues, and the people you generally interact with on the business side of things or in your career, you need to let them know who you truly are, your values, what you stand for, and your belief system. It's so important that people know who you are, and that is how your opportunities can come. They can link you and tie you to opportunities that align with your authentic self. What I mean is that you should be true. People should know you for what you stand for. I do not mean you should come to the workplace or to the business environment with your negative attributes. That is not what I mean. Your authentic self shows and speaks about your values, what you stand for, what you believe in, what you can do, what you can tolerate, what you can take, and what you are generally known for. So they are discussing that they need, this kind of leader, this kind of personality for a project, for another role, and then somebody in that room is saying, go for Femi, he's the man. He's got this, he's got that. That is what I mean. It's important that you ensure you are known for something and you stand for something and you stand against something. That is what it means to come to the table with your authentic self. The fourth one I have for you today is that you need to be constantly ready. You need to be constantly ready for calculated risk because they will come your way, and it's important that you are available and ready to take them. You don't need to be overtly scared, to take risk. So you're on a roll and then there's a bigger role being offered. You need to be prepared to take that risk. Of course, that is after you have avoided godfatherism. You have been able to show your authentic self at the table. Following those steps, you will see that you will be equipped to take calculated risk in your career. The last and the final one that I have for you today is that you need to be prepared for the dark moments. The dark moments are those moments that gives you the blues, which is what this platform stands for. They would come calling. They cannot be avoided. There are days that it looks like the entire system is crashing. What do you do? How equipped are you to handle difficult terrains, difficult experiences, pain, and generally things are not aligning as you planned or as you wanted it? How have you been able to cope? How have you been able to pull through? These things would come, and it's important that you are aware. The first and biggest way to address dark days in your career, in business, or in your relationships is the fact that you are aware that they are going to come. Being aware that they are going to come doesn't mean you are a pessimist, doesn't mean you are a negative person. It just shows that you are mature and you are a realistic person, because you cannot take out these dark days. Life itself is a mixture of good, the bad, and the ugly. So when these dark days show up, how do you handle them? That is what helps you to handle your blue moments, your blue emotions, and helps you gravitate back towards your spark. Thank you for listening.